In the battlefields of Austerlitz, four armies gathered, the Swedish against the coalition of Dutch, Roman, and Polish troops. The Swedish were eager to fight. At 7 in the morning they began moving towards Sukonets castle. They began crossing the river under heavy fire from the enemy and deployed in the Pratzen Heights, the central position in the battlefield. By 8 o'clock, the Swedish deployed and advanced simultaneously, driving the enemy back towards the river crossings. The enemy gave up the heights and retreated across the river, but the Polish did not waver and stubbornly held Bosnitz in the north of Pontovitz. In heavy fighting, a charge by Zunex's advance guard and the winged Hussars broke a Swedish brigade, exposing Sanity's flank. To help his isolated flank, Sanity sent his cavalry reserves and 2 more infantry brigades. Zunex went to meet the enemy, but the Swedish Emperor in person charged with his guard cavalry, causing great chaos behind Allied lines. Sweden's rapid maneuvers and marches now exposed the entire Polish flank with encirclement. Zunex was forced to withdraw his troops from Bosnitz. The Emperor left Novanek with the task of destroying the Polish while he turned his attention to the right. Here, the Dutch and Roman troops were well positioned behind the river and on high ground. Sanity quickly saw that the main blow would have to come from the left, so once again he left Spamless with the task of defending the river line while he rode to the left. The Polish were critically exposed. Their only goal was to cross the river and join the other allies, but they would have to fight every step of the way with heavy losses. Under heavy fire, the Polish crossed the river and with reinforcements they held the line. But on the other front, Marshal Spamless, under heavy attack, could not prevent the Allies from crossing the river. Despite barely holding the line, he made the Allies pay a great price for the heights. And when the time came, he counterattacked, routing the enemy and chasing him downhill. Having destroyed the enemy, Sanity decided his forces were overstretched and ordered a redeployment to Bosnitz. Zunex formed his remaining forces into a single infantry line, with cavalry around the right flank. Together with Fusion, he planned a major attack to try and break the Swedish, but he would have to cross the river and was outnumbered and outgunned. A plan was to keep his forces spread out to prevent the Swedish from using their numerical advantage with Fusion on the left, Zunex on the right, the remaining artillery in the center. The attack began as Zunex gave the order to advance. He himself led the Polish right across the river. They were soon engaged in a bloody melee fight as some Swedish regiments turned and ran. At this moment, the Polish center joined the charge, storming a small fort. The Kurlian then counterattacked, recapturing the fort at bayonet point. Shortly after, the remaining troops broke ranks and their battery was charged down by Hussars. The first day of the battle had cost 10,000 losses to the Swedish, the coalition around 30,000. On the second day, the coalition deployed their entire army near Austerlitz and prepared to move straight towards Bosnitz. The only opposition in Bosnitz itself was just a few cavalry regiments, and an infantry fighting began, but steadily more and more units joined the action. The Dutch found a place to cross the river, and without wasting a moment, Darjeeling led the advance, securing a bridgehead. While on the left wing, the Polish crossed a small ford to try and outflank the enemy, but at a high price.